Hi Janine, I'm making a sauerkraut video for you. Hopefully it's pretty quick. So it's basically as easy as taking a cabbage and slicing it real thin with a knife, shredding it, whatever, and then mixing in some salt with your hands, massaging it in. So the rule of thumb is 10 grams of salt for every pound of cabbage. I'm using a 3-pound cabbage. So I used 30 grams of salt. Most people use like a 5 or 6 pound cabbage. So for a 6-pound cabbage, 60 grams of salt. So just slice up the cabbage really thin, add it to a big glass bowl, and then dump in your salt, and then start massaging it with your hands. And then all you do once the cabbage is in a bowl with clean hands is just massage it so it will end up about half the size from what you started and get really liquidy in its own brine. So this takes maybe about 10 minutes. All right, you can see that it's about half its size that it was after I squeezed it for like 10 minutes. I forgot to tell you, this is the salt I use. So just pure salt, none of those weird ones with anti-caking agents. I don't know what it's called, but it should just say salt. So I use this one. It's good. All right, I'm gonna let it sit for like 20-30 minutes so the salt can draw all the liquid out, and then I'm gonna come back and put it in a crock. All right, it's been about a half hour. Lots of people put different things in sauerkraut. You can put garlic or whatever. I just put some caraway seed in. Just, I don't know how much, till I feel like it, I guess. That seems like enough. Then, here's my little kraut crock, sauerkraut, whatever it's called. These are the weights to hold it down. Kind of stuff it in there little by little. And the rest of your juice, pour it in. Good enough, I guess. And then I use this specialty sauerkraut tool. It's a potato masher. You just want to mash it down real good. Now, ideally, the brine that you made when you squished all the cabbage is supposed to be underneath that level, but if it's not, you can add a little bit of water, which I didn't have to do last time, but I might have to do it this time. I don't know. We'll see. Just going to squish it some more. done mashing it. I did have to add a little tiny bit of water because for whatever reason this cabbage wasn't very juicy. I used distill just to be safe, but I don't think that's necessary. So this crock comes with these weights. You just stick them down inside and they hold the cabbage below the water level. Like that. And then you get some water and fill this channel. This basically creates an anaerobic environment. You don't want any oxygen in there, but it also lets it breathe. That way you don't have to like self-burp it. So if you do this in a mason jar, you have to burp it like every day because it'll explode. But anyway, I can just leave that alone now. All you have to do is check the water level of this channel. Make sure the water doesn't evaporate out, because the one thing you really don't want in there is oxygen. And then my last batch I did for 13 days, I'm gonna leave this completely alone for 21 full days to make it real stanky. And that's it, super easy. Bye, Janine. One last thing. Sauerkraut fermenting likes temperatures between 65 and 72. May will never let me get away with 72, forget 65. So 75 it is, and that worked fine on the last one. It'll just ferment a little bit quicker. So if if what would normally be ready in 2 weeks is probably good in 10 or 12 days. And I have a little digital thermometer, hydrometer right here that I bought on Amazon. It was super cheap. I think it was like 10 bucks. And I try to keep it under 75. Good luck.